In this video, I'll be building a full web app, front-end, back-end, authentication, and a paywall without writing a single line of back-end code. I'm going to be using Lovable, Supabase, Stripe, and n8n. It sounds chaotic, but it's not that bad. Let me show you exactly how I made it all work and the one thing that almost ruined everything. I'm going to leave links to all the tools in the description below, but the star of the show is Lovable. It's basically a no-code tool that lets you visually build full web apps. It has Supabase and Stripe natively integrated. You can have user authentication and a paywall, making it super easy for you to start making money right away. n8n is a tool that will be running the backend, and in my last video, I created this workflow that lets you analyze a stock based on real-time data and news. It's going to provide recommendations on whether to buy, sell, hold, as well as entry prices, stop losses, and target prices. So my plan is to create a front end with a text box where the user can submit a ticker symbol of a stock. I'm gonna do that with Lovable, and we're gonna be connecting that front end to n8n via a webhook. A webhook is like a digital messenger that instantly sends data like a stock ticker from the Lovable app to the n8n workflow the moment the user submits it, triggering my AI agent to analyze that stock and respond with its analysis. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to create that connection from Lovable to n8n. So if you have any workflow, you can connect it using what we call a webhook. Type in webhook. So we're going to have to copy this link so Lovable knows where to send the data. You do that by just simply clicking on. Now I'm going to connect this node to this workflow. Actually, before we move on, I almost forgot. We're going to have to change this method to a post method. And then for response, we're going to respond with using a respond webhook node. I'll show you why in a minute. So let me exit out of this. So before I had this connected to a Telegram trigger. So I'm going to delete this and we're going to do respond to webhook. And we'll leave it as first incoming item. Now, with the help of ChatGPT, I had to create a prompt that I can plug into Lovable to create that web app. So basically what I said, create a prompt for Lovable that will create a text box where a user can submit whenever someone clicks submit, send the data to this webhook as a post request. Then I pasted that webhook that we got from n8n. When the data is sent to the webhook, wait for the response from the webhook, then output that in the field that says, here's your stock recommendation. The title of the page will be Kevin's AI Stock Trader. And this is the prompt that it came out with, and it looks pretty good. So basically, pretty much the same thing, just a little bit nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, head back to Lovable. I'm going to paste that here. I'm going to hit submit, see what it does. After waiting for a little bit, I got the result, and now we're going to test it. All right, before we test it, we're going to go back to n8n, and we're going to open our webhook, and we're going to click listen for test event. Then we're going to go with Apple as our ticker and hit get recommendation. Okay, it stopped here because if we look down on the left side, we can see that we did have information pass through, and we just need to change these values here. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to do that for each one. So basically what I'm doing is I'm finding the text that was submitted on Lovable because it was passed on to n8n via that webhook, and now I'm just dragging that variable over into the query parameter that will feed into the rest of the workflow. And this goes with any workflow that you're connecting to your front end. All we're doing is passing data from one place to another. The data that we wanted was that ticker symbol. It could be anything based on your use case, but for me, it was Apple. I just had to find it in the schema setting, drag it over, make sure it's an expression. Now the result of that query should be that ticker symbol here. As you see, Apple. The information can now be passed on, and this workflow should now work. I'm going to reopen the webhook, hit listen for test event again. Then I'm going to go back to a Lovable, and let's try it again. Why did it stop? No. Okay, it stopped again because instead of clicking listen for test event here, what I'm now going to do is click execute workflow, which I already did. All right, let's try it again. See it work now. Okay, now it's working. We can see it in real time. It's working. Hopefully we have text.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, we do, but it looks a little wonky. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just copy this. I'm going to paste it here. Then I said, here's the output, parse the JSON, extract the output value, replace the /n with an actual line breaks. And how I got that solution, I asked ChatGPT.
I got you, homie.
Basically, it says the code has been updated. So I'm going to test it out again. All right, so let's go back here, execute this workflow. So it's listening. Hit this one more time. I hope it works. It did. Hell yeah. Damn. So look, it's beautiful. Technical recommendation, buy, entry price 202, stop loss 195, target price 218, but risk to reward ratio 2.29, confidence level high. Nice. Now I'm going to add a paywall so I can start charging for this service. But before we do that, we need to add user authentication, and we're going to be using Supabase. So Supabase is pretty cool because it's basically data storage and user authentication. So basically log in, log out, saving the accounts, things like that. And what's cool is that Lovable has it natively built in. But what I'm going to try to do is prompt it to create that authentication and Stripe services so people can pay for the service. So this is what I'm going to say. Create user authentication whenever someone clicks on get AI recommendation. Then set up a Stripe payment integration. Once that's done, they should be able to use the web app. So the first thing it's asking me to do is to connect my Supabase. But first we need to create an account. So I'm going to click start your project, hit sign up now, sign up, sticking with the free plan for now, give it whatever password. I actually forgot to rename my project. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna name it Kevin's AI Stock Trader. Save. All right, now we're gonna head back to Lovable and connect to Supabase. Connect Supabase. We're gonna authorize. Okay, now we can hit continue. I'm connected to my project. Now I'm gonna exit out of this. Now that it's connected, we can test it out. Back in my n8n, hitting execute workflow, and press this again. So I refreshed the page. It didn't do what I asked it to do. Now I'm going to say create user authentication. Whenever someone clicks on get AI recommendation, it will take them to a landing page where they can log in, then set up a Stripe payment integration. Once payment is received, they will have access to the web app every time they log in. And then came back with a response saying, I'll help you set up the authentication and Stripe payment. Let me start by implementing the authentication system with the login/sign up, then add Stripe integration for subscription payment. Okay, so did all this. I'm going to hit apply changes. All right, it's taking a little bit to load. So while we wait for that, we're going to go over back to Supabase and we're going to turn something off. We're going to go down to the left side and go down to authentication and hit sign in/providers, and we're going to turn this confirm email off. So this is basically when someone signs in, they will get an email which will have to confirm their account. I'm just going to turn that off for testing purposes. You can leave that on if you want to. Now that it's done creating that login page, this is what the new main page looks like. So it says sign in to get started. So that's good. Now it's asking for my Stripe account. So here we see unauthenticated users see a landing page with sign in to get started. Authenticated but unsubscribed users are prompted to subscribe for $9.99 per month when they click get AI recommendations. Subscribed users can access unlimited AI stock recommendations, payment flow, open Stripe, checkout in a new tab, yada yada. Okay, and here's what almost ruined me. So if you go over, create your Stripe account, you get your API key, and make sure you don't show your API key to anybody because it will expose you, which I almost did to myself. So basically how you get your API key, you go down to developers and you hit API key, and you're gonna copy your secret key. What I almost did that would have ruined everything was paste that secret key into a live AI chat box. That is a security risk because the key could be stored, logged, or exposed in ways that allow unauthorized access to your account or sensitive data. Instead, what you want to do is click add API key. Paste that here, hit submit. All right, I'm going to test this out. Sign up, put it in my email, create an account. I'm going to sign in. All right, cool. It has a subscribe now option. All right, this is great news. It has taken me to the Stripe payment page. It's currently in test mode, so we can put some pretend data. Type in Stripe development documentation, hit developer dashboard. Look over to your left, go over to testing, hit test your integration. And look down, we're gonna just copy this number here, hit card. We're gonna put in that pretend data. So the payment's not actually gonna go through, it's just for testing purposes. We're gonna put an actual date, 29/11/11, whatever. So I input some random data, it doesn't really matter. It's just gonna test it out and make sure it goes through. So let's go ahead and hit subscribe. All right, awesome. Now I can test it out. Let's see. Let's make sure it's listening there. All right, it worked. As easy as that. It even says premium active basic plan. Now to finalize everything, what I would do is I would activate this, right? And then head over to your webhook, select production URL, copy this, and let Lovable know that this is the new webhook. I can't show that step because I'm out of credits, but it's crazy to see how much we were able to build with just a free subscription to Lovable. Now let's check in Supabase to see if our username was actually stored. All right, let's go hover over to the left, go down to authentication, and now you can see all of our users. And you can see here, it's right there. It'll tell you the date that it was created at, the last sign in. So that's nice, it's all there. Now we're gonna check Stripe to see if that payment actually got stored. So you look down to your left side, you're gonna see subscriptions. Boom, there you have it right there. My very first customer, which is myself. Got the date it was created, the product they're buying, the monthly rate, the yearly total. Obviously it's fake because I was using some test numbers, but I'm pretty mind blown at how much we were able to build in just one day off of free credits. Yeah, boy. If you want to see the tutorial on how I built the stock trading AI agent, check this video out. This video was actually really fun to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right here so you can learn more about AI, automations, how to build a web app, how to build workflows. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.